What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to News for the Science, where we discuss comics, movies, games, and more. And San Diego Comic-Con, at least the Saturday Hall H panel, happened recently, and we got a lot to cover. Some of the biggest news from like the new Avengers retitle, which is now called Avengers Doomsday, because, you know, for reasons. And of course, Avengers Secret Wars is going to stay as is, and we got official new dates for both movies, as well as some other announcements at the San Diego Hall H comic panel. It was a blast. A lot of overwhelmingly like positive reviews from that Hall H, because Marvel Studios really needed it. But anyways, I hope you guys are having a great day. Now, if you're wondering, if some of you are wondering at least, where's the Deadpool Wolverine review? Don't worry, that's coming. That's going to be posting later on, late tonight. But I want to cover this first because I think this takes priority, and just about everybody who does what I do is talking about it. It's really important. As always, guys, if you're new to the channel, just make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Click on the bell notifications so y'all don't miss anything. Join the Discord, which is in the description box below, the invitation link. And follow me on my social media, which you can also find in the description box. If not, my handles are right below the webcam overlay, so you can't miss it. But anyway, this is really awesome. We got a lot to cover. Like, it's this entire page right here. Now, I'm not going to read all this because the video will end up being way too long. But, like, I'm sure all of you are here to, like, hear my thoughts as far as, like, what do I think about Robert Downey Jr. coming back as Doomsday. That's right. Robert Downey Jr. is returning to the Marvel Cinematic Universe in the form of Dr. Doom. And a lot of you probably have questions going like, well, how's that possible? Will the other Avengers recognize him as another version of Iron Man? And will they try to talk him out of like villainy and stuff like that? Don't worry, I'm gonna have those questions answered really soon. So let's talk about this. It's like, so this was it. This is what we've been waiting for through the sickness and strikes, and it was one against time for Comic-Con's version of your main event. What sorcery would Kevin Feige have for us this time? Perhaps a Deadpool Wolverine victory lap, which happened on Thursday, which I think has already done over 400 million worldwide, by the way, and it's still climbing. And nothing happening just yet. Beginning of the Deadpool Wolverine Marvel Studios logo, then choir red and yellow, singing like a prayer, wacky. It was awesome. So here it is. Of course, they ask, people not to record anything, but they're gonna go ahead and do it anyway. Hold on, let me just adjust my speaker settings here for like a moment. You'll be able to hear it. Yeah. So they were singing like a prayer, and let me tell you this: that version of Like a Prayer was a total high note to go out on at the end of Deadpool Wolverine. Spoiler alert! Oh, don't want to get hit with copyright. Spoiler alert! I mean, not really much of a spoiler, but like the movie, like towards its climax, it plays like a rendition of Like a Prayer, like an epic version of Like a Prayer from Madonna. So we have a Fury Deadpool, Bob Ross Deadpool, Dino Pool, the number winds down, and now Kevin Feige is here. And if there's a Peter Pool, and Rob Delaney comes out and shakes his hand, Feige touts the movie as the largest R-rated opening of all time. We're going to talk about the three movies: Captain America: Brave New World, which is what we're here to talk about, as well as the other Avengers movies. And it's crazy. So here we go. Harrison Ford is Thaddeus Ross, aka Red Hulk. It's not a spoiler, that's also in the trailer, but all the fans will figure this out, and all those fans who have families and friends who don't know squat about Marvel will tell their friends and family that yes, Thaddeus is of course Red Hulk. Go read the comics. But here we go. Here's a clip of Thaddeus coming out and just hawking out.
And I'm delighted. I am proud to become Marvel users.
Like, truth be told, honestly, he really needs this, especially with the way how Disney treated him. As far as like, I know Marvel Studios is Disney. What I meant was Star Wars. As far as like how Star Wars has treated him, and his character and everything like that, I think he's more excited to be a part of this than he is of like any Star Wars property. So.
I have been watching fantastic actors, some of which are here tonight, have a really good time working for Marvel users. I wanted a piece of the action.
Every single actor wants a piece of the action. I mean, like, some of the actors that you thought would never be a part of the Marvel Universe has joined the Marvel Universe, and it's just crazy.
And I'm very proud to be in this film. I think it has turned out to be fantastic.
Don't know if that was a pun intended for Fantastic Four, but maybe it could have been a coincidence. That was a clip of him just talking about it. And that's it in February. Now time to talk about Thunderbolts with the asterisk, and we'll explain about the asterisk. I think more was going to be revealed after the film came out, but I think we found out that the asterisks are just basically a bunch of bullets pointing at each other, which forms an asterisk. So here comes director Jake Schreier, Louis Pullman, Geraldine, and the rest of the names you can see on the screen right here. And David Harbour in full costume, now with gold highlights. Oh my God, you guys didn't dress up? I sent that email. He mock cries, blames everyone for perceived slights in Stan Laurel style. So the Red Guardian suited up. He came out dressed up. He's totally pulling Tom Hiddleston right there as Loki. God. It must be a blast to be there in person, excuse me, not on purpose. Of course, on purpose. He really knows how to get an audience riled up, I'll tell you that. Good on him for that. He's putting up his actual Red Guardian accent. He's staying in character.
Oh my God. You guys didn't dress up.
Oh my God, the look on his face. They won't reveal the asterisk means when asked. Feige says the name of the team is similar to Thunderbolts Ross because comics have a long history and sometimes names are similar. Ross is not in the movie, or so he says now. So John Kamen says it's good to be back, and where they find her is going to be interesting. JLD says Valentina's after power, control, and just generally wants to kick ass. Russell says everyone is gonna effing love me. Stan says playing Bucky is like having 9 lives. How many are left? Recalls how he was initially terrified in the first Marvel film, claiming himself with the thought that the mask meant he wouldn't have to speak. Harbour discusses the relationship with Pugh's character, that he's narcissist who's never there for anyone, and she's really good at killing people, which isn't the best dynamic. Pugh introduces some footage by praising the stunt team. It's framed with Yelena showing up on a Red Guardian's doorstep, talking about an emptiness inside, parallels with other fallen heroes who have done bad things. They end up in a facility together, fighting each other, then get trapped with heat lamps, amping up. They're brought together by Valentina. It looks like she now owns Avengers Tower. Not clear on who the villain is, but we see Yelena jumping off a tower and a team in a car driving through the desert as Red Guardian talks too much. Lots of action with faceless baddies. Taskmaster now has a white mask that's more skull-shaped. Matt Shackman comes out to talk Fantastic Four, retro future New York style. We'll have Sid Mead influence, not shooting yet, but he put together a little pre-shoot shooting thing to show. Official movie title is now The Fantastic Four, The First Steps. So that's an interesting title, First Steps. And back to the Captain America Brave New World. From what I know, the plot is surrounding Thaddeus and I think the Julius Dreyfus's character. They're going after Tiamat, and if you remember the Eternals, Tiamat is like that gigantic celestial that's sticking out of the ground with like its hand and his head sticking out of the earth. They're going after that because they're trying to at least take out some of the resources that's found in that celestial being. I mean, that's a gigantic body full of like very valuable and very potentially expensive resources, and that resource is going to be adamantium. It has been confirmed, and it's actually a theory that a lot of comic book content creators like myself have come up with, that the metal that they're going after in that gigantic celestial body is adamantium, and that's a good way to pave the way of Wolverine's origins, at least in the MCU. We already have a Wolverine, and I don't think there's going to be a recasting of Wolverine anytime soon because I mean, truth be told, I think they're gonna have Hugh Jackman do this until he's 90. So if you get that reference, let me know, of course. So just announced in Hall H, Fantastic Four: The First Steps begins production on Tuesday, coming up this Tuesday. It is Sunday now, the time of me recording this video. They're finally gonna start filming, and from what I know, they already revealed some shots, like Pedro Pascal in his Fantastic Four outfit, some of the other cast members, and they even revealed a footage of actual Galactus. He's gigantic, and I think the footage just has his eyes like looking through a building, which is kind of creepy in a way, but it looks pretty cool. I mean, the images online, you can actually see it for yourself right there. But yeah, it's pretty cool. So here it is. The Fantastic Four takes flight in Hall H with the Fantastic Car, which they actually had an actual Fantastic Car flying through, and it's supposed to be at least a mix between some sort of old retro Cadillac with modern technology. Now, keep in mind that this movie does take place in an entirely different universe, an alternate Earth, and it's set in the 60s, but in a way, it's still the 60s, but it's mixed with modern tech, or at least futuristic looking tech, which is an interesting concept. And how they're going to go about combining the Fantastic Four of that era with the modern MCU, with the Earth 616, I'm not sure how they're going to do that. But knowing that Robert Downey Jr. is going to be playing a version of Doom, and maybe Doom may be showing up in some capacity in this movie, Doom is probably going to be tagging along with this group of the Fantastic Four to the MCU, because Galactus would have already probably destroyed their world. And that's just my theory. Could be potential spoilers, but hey, I don't know. I haven't seen the movies, but here's the clip. It's just a Fantastic Car going up right there. It's probably attached to some strings there to have the car fly like that. That's pretty cool. It actually looks like it's flying. Yeah, so they are filming in London, which is interesting. Feige mentions Avengers. Russo brothers confirmed to direct with a sizzle reel of their past Marvel moments. Now, if you all recall, a lot of content creators like myself have theorized about at least over a week ago that the Russo brothers is set to direct. They're going to be returning to direct the next Avengers movies. And if Marvel Studios decides to go with that decision, which they totally should, and they did, it will be a gigantic W for them. They really need this, especially with the way things have been since Endgame. Of course, there were a couple of bangers since Endgame. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. I liked WandaVision. I think WandaVision was great. And also Deadpool and Wolverine, which was really recently. Those were like the only good things that came out of it, out of like all the shows and everything that, has come out since. They really need this big time. And also with the response of Robert Downey Jr. coming back as a villain in the MCU, there's been mostly overwhelmingly positive, responses from this. And of course, some negatives with some criticisms, talking about how is this like a desperate attempt at Marvel Studios trying to get back and win the audience back? Is this a way of planting seats in the movie theaters? Because I got to give it to them. I mean, if you really think about it, and I was discussing this with my wife earlier today when we were eating breakfast, I think this is a good tactic to actually have butts planted in movie theater seats, because if you look back at the older Fantastic Four movies, those movies didn't really do so well. They kind of sort of bombed in the box office. They weren't great movies, and knowing that Robert Downey Jr. is going to be in the new Fantastic Four movies, this is a sure way to plant a lot of butts in movie theater seats, especially the fans who've been watching all of the Marvel movies, all of the MCU movies since the beginning, since the first Iron Man movie. And it's a good way. And I think Robert Downey Jr. is going to be able to bring in all that money, towards Marvel Studios. And that's why they pay him the big bucks, because that guy is just filled with charisma. He's charisma the person, okay? His charisma is dialed up to 10. Fallout fans, let me know if you're a Fallout fan. But still, it's just so cool. So the Russo brothers have returned to direct Marvel Studios' Avengers Doomsday, starring Robert Downey Jr. as Dr. Doom, only in theaters as in May 2026. So we got another at least almost 2 years, actually, because May 2024 passed a couple of months ago. So almost 2 years, like about a year and 10 months or so away from the next Avengers movie, and that's Avengers Doomsday. So Avengers Doomsday is first. Dr. Doom is played by the greatest actor in the world, Robert Downey Jr. He's here. New mask, same task. What can I tell you? I like playing complicated characters. And that was uttered by Robert Downey Jr. himself. And here's the clip. My God, that's crazy. Now, is this guy painted in green, or is that just green lighting all over the audience? I think that's green lighting. But that's just crazy. Robert Downey Jr. just being Robert Downey Jr. I mean, he acted the same exact way at San Diego Comic-Con years ago when he was still playing Iron Man. Just pulls out, he just does this. And he keeps a straight face. I love how he's wearing a version of Dr. Doom's outfit. That is so cool, man. I'm happy for him. I'm glad that he's back. I knew he would come back. I knew he wouldn't be able to resist, It's just awesome. It's perfect. And Secret Wars, lastly, this movie is gonna be like split into two. It's just a massive story. It has to be split into two. This movie will course correct everything. It'll reset everything, and it'll just fix Marvel Studios, I think, in my opinion, because it has the potential to allow writers to pretty much correct a lot of nonsense and maybe remove a lot of nonsense too. Just make us forget all the bad. And if anything, in turn, I think it'll also allow us to tolerate the shitty shows and movies that we've gotten in the past too. So the Russo brothers return to direct Marvel Studios' Avengers: Secret Wars, only in theaters May 2027. And panel closes out with a Bye 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 by NSYNC, and that's awesome. Yeah, and there you have it, guys. That's everything that happened at the San Diego Comic-Con Hall H. Really exciting stuff. Let me know, what are your favorite parts, like what was your favorite part, at least, from San Diego Comic-Con. Comment down below. It's a great time to be a huge Marvel comic book fan, and at least a Marvel movie fan, because we got a lot of good stuff coming our way within the next couple of years. So anyways, that's pretty much it for San Diego Comic-Con Hall H, guys. What did you think of it? Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and click on the bell notifications so y'all don't miss anything. Dislike the video if you did. And as always, guys, I will see you all in the next comic panel.